Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Valric and today I want to be talking about the Thok's Smashing Buffs event, which by the way is an amazing name because Thok is an hilarious character. If you've not done the quest, highly recommend doing them, they're really funny. But yeah, there's a new event that gives some PVM buffs like free Elder Overload, no death cost, double Reaper points, and you can choose your task. Sign of Life is pretty much instantly refreshed as soon as you go to a bank. Passive tier 4 luck and no cooldowns on aura, so as soon as your aura ends, you can use it again. Which literally sounds like PVM heaven, and I want to give you guys some pointers on some bosses that you can use this on and try to make either money or just advance your account more. So if you're going to enjoy this video, definitely give it a like. Let me know in the comment section down below which bosses you are looking to try out, and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 5k by the end of the year, and I'm live every single day on Twitch as well at 5 PM game time. And let's just get into the video. So first of all, I think a good boss to try out is the Necromancy only boss, Rashiel. Because I feel like Rashiel is punishing to learn, and especially with the recent nerf of Death Skulls making it slightly more difficult to do, it is a boss that I feel like people might be avoiding, especially after the quest, but there's a lot to be learned from it, and it's great money. Because the nerf also means that a lot of less people are doing it, plus a lot of people did finish their log, and a lot of people also still want to get the best installed Necromancy gear. So it's a good place to go to make a lot of money, especially because the drops are not that rare and you can do quite a few kills an hour. So why is it punishing to learn? Well, the P4 lighting phase is something a lot of people struggle with, where you constantly need to be running from one side to another, using abilities whilst you're damaging him, and pretty much trying to out-eat the damage you're getting, because yeah, you could dodge it, but that's pretty much the best way to do it. One thing that really helps there is using the reflect ability, especially if you have Bone Shield active, to reflect some damage back to him. Even defensive like Resonance can really help you there to heal a little bit from the damage you're getting, and just throwing vulnerability bombs and trying to unload all your big abilities and pretty much build stacks before P4 and then dump everything in P4 to make sure that it goes over as quickly as possible. But those are some tips that I can give you, but Rashiel is something that should definitely be on the top of your list if you haven't touched upon it already. Another one that should really be high on your list is Kiln/Zuck, because that actually helps you and maybe should even be higher if you do not have the capes unlocked yet, whether that's for range, mage, necromancy, or even melee. But especially for mage and necromancy, it's really powerful, and range as well. But yeah, it is punishing because when you fail, you waste a lot of time. Where with a normal boss, when you die, yeah, you might have wasted 2 or 3 minutes. And with Zuck, you can waste 20 minutes because you've done the run and then you realize, oh shit, I don't have enough overloads, or you know, you're not managing your stuff correctly. And with the overload buff, for example, you don't have to worry about being buffed up. And you could just worry about your prayer and your health and trying to get to the waves as quickly as possible. And those upgrades of the capes are really powerful, where Death Skulls or Death Shot or Omni Power become actual usable abilities within their respective styles, of course, during PVM. And that generally is just a flat out DPS increase, besides just the buff of having the best installed cape in general with the stats that it provides. So definitely worth doing Kiln and Zuck during this event. Maybe you even snipe a nice ability codex or just a piece of the, what's it called, the book, because the book is actually quite expensive now as well, because it's also used in combination with necromancy. And if you're really feeling like you can take it on, try hard mode Zuck, because I will not be able to do that anytime soon because me and Zuck don't get along. Another great boss to be doing is the Elite Dungeons 3. You're probably thinking, Chef, why? Well, Ambi is just very enjoyable, but that's not the reason why you should be going there, because there's a lot of money to be made. Elite Dungeons 3 became very consistent money nowadays because of the Blackstone hearts that it drops, which is needed for the Undead Slayer ability, which will no doubtably be going up with the next boss that will be coming out, because the next boss will most likely be Undead, and it's a Necromancy boss, so 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3 quick maths. That means that it will be going up, and that if you have a lot of Blackstone hearts in your chest and you just save them up for the next boss release, you probably make a lot of money for it. Plus, they're currently sitting at 800 to 900k as well, and you can easily get 20, maybe 30 an hour if you get lucky. And also another thing is, something that will happen in the future, is the hit cap increase, where the current hit cap on average is 15k. Which means that the absolute max hit with range and magic, with Grimoire active, is 15k. There are some things to work around it with melee and other styles, but pretty much it's a 15k hit cap, where Necromancy is 30k. They're looking into increasing all the hit caps to 30k, which will mean that the Eldritch Crossbow will go up a lot, because that special attack is very, very powerful. If you've used Split Soul with Necromancy, you know what it does. The Eldritch Crossbow does that for range, and it's really, really good. Plus, it has a slower cooldown, or a lower cooldown than the Necromancy one, so it is technically more powerful, but because it doesn't work with Necromancy, obviously there's no point in using it, because it's a two-hand, it will desummon your ghosts, etc. But pretty much, if that happens, that buff happens, the Eldritch will absolutely skyrocket, because it will pretty much be one of the best special attacks in the game. And besides Elite Dungeons 3 being consistent money nowadays, if that hit cap increase happens, which is still a big if at the moment, you will also be making a lot of money from your crossbow pieces, so hold on to them, because they will be going up. And that kind of goes for a lot of bosses. Telos for the SGB, the Saren Godbow, will probably go up a lot as well, because it's really powerful. Or Raksha for Greater Ricochet, because Ricochet can also proc a 30k now, and it will definitely be an even better ability than it already is. Or Solek for Grimoire pages, because people will probably be wanting to combine that new hit cap with the Grimoire to make it even more powerful. Or Karapek with the Fracture Staff Varmadal pieces, or even the Daganov Kings for the rings, because the rings will also have a very, very high, well, not DPS increase, but obviously it will help with DPS increases. And you could even do the Zamorak Undercity to get these scrolls, or these slitters, or whatever they're called, to be able to upgrade the rings and do it that way. The rings will always be at a high price, so it will generally be nice to do that, especially nowadays, because you will save on bringing 2 overloads pretty much to go into Dagonos, because you can easily stay there for an hour if you have some decent mid-game gear. And lastly, I want to kind of touch upon Reaper task, because getting those Reaper points is 1 money, because you can buy Hydrixes. Obviously after this event, the Hydrixes will go down a lot. But then again, if the new boss drops some sort of special weapon or special attack weapon that is very useful with Necromancy, they'll probably go up again. So it might be worth you stacking up some points, not using them straight away to buy your Hydrixes, but just wait a little bit. Or even if you go for trim comp like myself, you need to buy out the entire shop, and this might be a great time to do so. And one thing that I would recommend you doing is solo next, because it's not too difficult and it's great points. And obviously if you want to go into groups, obviously pick the highest boss that is possible to you. Or if you're going to be doing any of the bosses that I just mentioned, just pick those bosses. You don't get any damage buffs or anything, but it's still nice to just do 2 birds with 1 stone. And those are just some tips that I just want to give you guys on this event. And I just want to give some closing thoughts, because I saw some complaints on the internet regarding, oh yeah, they just done the hero pass buffs and now they're coming with these types of buffs. These events have been around for the longest time, and it generally they have shown that this literally increases the amount of people that do PVM, and it helps introduce people to do PVM. And I think events like these are actually really good, because it's available for everyone, no one has an advantage for everything, and it's limited. So if you're on for this amount of time, you can benefit from it. And I would highly recommend you benefiting from it, especially if you're trying one of the more difficult bosses and it being a little bit less punishing right now. And there's a lot of money to be made as well. But yeah, those are just some closing thoughts that I wanted to give. If you did enjoy this video, generally leave a like on it. Join the discussion in the comment section down below. Let me know what bosses you're trying to do. Subscribe if you're new. And my name is Valric, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.